this is the fourth one reported.
Don't take it too seriously. Got to take these cases with a pinch of salt.
You mean you don't believe in reincarnation?
Well, to be honest, no.
Does this mean you dismiss all the books and papers written on the subject?
You see, I think they've built a whole industry around this reincarnation theory where so-called experts write books about it and keep selling them, hold seminars, and dupe their unsuspecting clients into believing that they'll come back in another life. I think as long as ghosts are apparently things that roam about our lives, we're going to be dealing with these stories.
Are you saying that all the people who've talked about their previous life are nothing but frauds?
Not necessarily. These people have mostly been wrongly influenced by their therapist fraudulent incentives. Research in this matter has shown that believing in reincarnation is possibly linked to our false memories or cryptodementia.
Why would therapists want to install such thoughts in their patients? I mean, how would this work? There are many cases where people have provided accurate information from their previous life or even spoken languages that they didn't know at all before. How would you explain that?
Let's see. Have you ever heard about the case of Bertie Murphy?
Bertie Murphy? No.
Well, it's one of the most well-known previous life and reincarnation stories. In 1952, a woman from Colorado named Virginia Tighe claimed to have been an Irish woman called Bertie Murphy in her previous life. A woman who lived in 19th century in Ireland. This amazing claim was first brought up the same year in a hypnosis session held by Murray Bernstein. While under hypnosis, Virginia Tighe began reciting with an Irish accent memories from her past life during 800s in the city Cork, Ireland. She recalled being born on September 20th, 1789, how she lived, married, and eventually died in 1864.
So what happened next?
Well, Virginia's claims sounded very convincing at first. She had never been to Ireland and probably couldn't have known many of the details she recalled unless she had lived through them a century ago. So after the whole matter, Bernstein, Virginia's hypnotist, wrote a book on the experience, which became a bestseller.
If you ask me, that basically proves Virginia's claims to be right, and it is also validates the reincarnation theory.
Well, yes, up until then, it all sounded plausible. But you see, Virginia's narrative began to fall apart when reporters traveled to Ireland to investigate.
How so?
While some general claims of Virginia turned out to be true, there was never any evidence found that corroborated the majority of her memories. No background information, no written account of this Bertie Murphy that could prove her existence was found. No record of her birth or death date was discovered either.
Oh, you just said that Bertie Murphy lived in early 800s. You've got to admit that recovering birth certificates from the era could be a little tricky. For one, the records could have been destroyed. That still doesn't disprove Virginia's claims, let alone make us disregard them as false memories. You said yourself that a number of her points were corroborated, and you said she spoke with an Irish accent.
Well, the story didn't end there. Sometime later, it was found out that during her childhood, Virginia Tighe was very close with a neighbor who happened to be an Irish immigrant called Bertie Murphy, and that she had learned from her details about Ireland and even taken up some of her Irish accent.
Oh.
It seems that Virginia's therapist and his book publisher were so desperate about using this opportunity to become famous and make some profit that they forgot to thoroughly check Virginia's story against historical facts.
So, was Virginia Tighe a fraud?
Well, many believe that she had intentionally fabricated the whole story, but that's unlikely. Also, there is a chance that she had subconsciously come up with the entire thing based on portions of her memories and a little bit of imagination. Decades of psychological research shows that when in a hypnotic state, people can very vividly describe events in first-person mode, in full detail. Events they may have not experienced in their lifetime.
But what about other cases?
I've got time. We can discuss those too.